Hi guys, welcome to this new video. So today what happened is I just listened to the All In Pod with Shamat Palihapitiya. It's a great podcast and unrelated, of course, to this video, but it really makes me want to go all in into a stock, right? All in into something. It's kind of a new strategy that I'm doing here for the channel. So I'm going to try to go all in into a stock, really, right? Kind of sell everything, sell all of the stocks and go all in. And it's also called the YOLO strategy, also known as YOLO. So that means you only live once. And I think I found the one, guys. I've really found the one. And it is GM. So the title of the video is Why I'm Going All In on GM. So GM, guys, it is the Tesla killer. Tesla should be scared, guys. I'm telling you. I am telling you, they should be scared. They delivered, only 1.31 million EVs in 2022. Only. That's like nothing compared to how many cars sold around the world. And that's only up 40% from 2021. Really, really not too good. And, frankly, to be honest, it's low-end cars. Teslas, they're low quality. They're super low-end. Did you see this video from a few years ago where there was a Tesla that caught on fire? They're super low-end. It's not impressive at all. GM, on the other hand, guys, GM beats Tesla by a long shot. They did 2.27 million total vehicles, and they sell gas cars. They sell real cars, 98.3% real cars, and they've sold only, but that's a good thing, I believe, 1.7% EVs. So really, GM is being cautious in their going into EVs. They're being so cautious at 1.7 million. But that's not what they actually sold. Mostly the Bolt. They sold 38,000 units of this EV bad boy, right? It's a much better car than a Tesla. Look at it. I mean, it's nice, it's small, it's tiny. Tesla can't compete with the Bolt. The Bolt is really nice, They don't even have a small car. Like Tesla doesn't even have a car like the Bolt. And the Bolt is a great price, very low margin, $27,000 sales price, 230-ish miles of range. This is nice. I really don't feel Tesla too much. And I just want to say, GM also sold hundreds of their other cars, like the Lyriq. Have you heard of a Lyriq? They sold hundreds. Well, actually 122. So I guess it's 100. They sold 100 Lyriq. And really, GM is investing heavily in EVs. They're investing heavily. They're being really serious about it. Many EV models are coming. One that I'm very excited about is the Cadillac Celestiq. I feel like I would look great driving a Cadillac Celestiq. And as you can see, this is some serious design, right? Every Celestiq is a work of art, as singular as their owner. So I would really love to drive a Celestiq, that's a real car right there. That's not like a Tesla. And actually, did you see the new partnership with Netflix? They're gonna put plenty of electric vehicles at Netflix in their different shows and movies. I don't know if you saw this clip in the Super Bowl, guys, but it was stunning. So GM, really a lot going for it. Let me just show you again how nice that car is. I mean, look at this design. Look at the back of this car. I mean, it's a superb shaped car. I really love the Celestiq. But let me move on. Why I'm going all in. Why am I going all in? Well, GM is so cheap. It's just under a 6 PE price-earnings ratio. Imagine the earnings yield on that. That's superb. That's a cheap stock. And by the way, I just want to say, GM is a safe play. Had you put your money in bonds over the past 12 years, you would have been down. If you had bought GM over 13 years, you wouldn't be down. You would be just about flat. But you also had dividends. Well, they cut their dividend in 2020. They just reinitiated the dividend. But you would have been earning those dividends too. So GM is a safe play, and I know some people, they talk about things like inflation and monetary supply and all of that stuff, but I think I'm gonna stop discussing this on the channel. It doesn't matter. Nominal value is what matters, not real returns. Nominal value. And by the way, when you compare GM to Tesla, so you can still buy GM at the same price today as you bought it in 2020. Same price today, you can still buy GM as you bought it in 2010. Tesla is a problem. Tesla, it's like it ran up 161 times, guys. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's like you've made 161 times your money over that same period. Like, who wants that? That's totally overvalued, and it's still overvalued. P ratio of 57. It's ridiculous. It's totally overvalued. And, keep in mind, right, Tesla will probably only match GM's production capacity in early 2024. So you have to wait another 14 months for Tesla to be as big as GM as far as making cars go. So and let me tell you another thing. Investing should be simple, right? Warren Buffett always says, it's simple to invest. It should be simple to invest. And, this is a side note. Like, a valuation is silly when in order to make sense of the stock, you have to use a log scale. Right? Tesla's stock chart is silly because you have to use a log scale to understand it. Let me show you Tesla's chart if you don't use a log, right? If you don't use a log, it's the thickness of the line. You can't really see any of the movements because you didn't use a log. You just use the regular price. You have to use a logarithm, to understand that kind of stuff. It's complicated, guys. Right? I want an investment to be simple. If you look at Tesla charts, you can't really understand the movement of Tesla chart. It just looks like it went up and was speculative in 2020 because you're not using a log chart. Investing should be easy. But let me move on. Guys, I have to be honest with y'all. I really do. Electric, I just don't feel it. Guys, I just don't feel electric. I know I've been bullish on Tesla in the channel before, but I just don't feel it anymore. Electric has range issues. Like, have you heard? Like, they have a lot of range issues. There's not enough chargers out there, not enough charging options. And I am so glad that being invested in GM keeps investing in gas cars, right? This is from January 20 of 2023. They invested $854 million in new V8 engines. I'm glad that even though GM is discussing EVs a lot. They put their money. They really have a credible commitment to gas cars. They put their money into gas cars, investing in EVs. I'm doubtful like them about EVs, and I believe gas is kind of a future. Actually, when you think about the range, let's look at the range. The range on these EVs is like really bad right now. I mean, it's still pretty bad. I know the range here is higher than most gas cars, but I had higher standards, higher expectations for EV. Like, this is an EV called the Lucid, guys, and they have this thing at 516 miles or 830 kilometers. Meh, what is that? I just don't even buy that it's possible. And what do you mean? Like, I mean, that's more than most gas cars. Like, who believes that? Nobody believes that. Like, the Tesla Model S, 405 miles. That's like your average gas car. Like what? Anyways, nobody buys that. They have range issues. There's range anxiety in EVs. And I also want to say, guys, that I happen to be a very linear thinker. Like I said earlier. Logarithmic functions, they scare me. They're ridiculous, right? Investing should be simple. And even though the U.S. Department of Energy themselves explained to us in their own published paper, they show that, battery density, i.e. how much energy you can put in a battery, as 8x'd in 12 years. It's like, I don't think it's going to keep going. I don't think we're going to do an over 8x in energy density in battery for over the next 12 years. I don't even think we're going to do a doubling of energy density in the next 12 years. I don't think that. I think it's going to stop right away. I think we're going to go flat now, and batteries are not going to keep getting better every year like they have since 2008. Batteries are definitely not riding down the same cost and efficiency curve as consumer electronics. It's totally not like that, right? We're definitely never ever going to see an electric car with, say, a 2,000-mile range. No way. That curve, that exponential curve of evolution of battery density, that's going to stop. That's going to stop right away, guys. I'm telling you this right now. And, here's another problem, why I'm not bullish on EVs, right? Chargers, they're not everywhere. It's very hard to find chargers, right? And chargers takes a while. Like, look at this map of the US. Like, look at all of these white spots. There are very, very, very few charging stations, right? So few. And it takes a while to charge. Right now, it's 15 minutes for 322 miles if you use a Tesla. That's a long time, 15 minutes, right? I mean, it's not like you have to take a pause when you're a road trip. It's not like you want to have a pause on a road trip. You want to be driving 10 hours a day. Actually, you don't. No. But anyways, or like 12 minutes. It's too long. 12 minutes for 200 miles is too long. The gas pump is under 4 minutes, and that is good, right? And I know I've read that there's megawatt superchargers that charge in a minute, but those will never be a thing. Come on. You have a megawatt charger with a cooled cable in order to charge a huge battery in a minute. That will never be a thing, And Tesla announced that like 6 months ago, but that's not going to happen. There's no way. Semis will never walk, by the way. I believe electric semi trucks will never ever walk. But let me move on. Some say, and this is what I have to say here. You have some people that say on other channels, and maybe this channel, I may have seen it before, that most drivers drive locally, right? And that 95% of the time you just charge at home overnight, plug in your car at home overnight. That's like 95% of the use. You're going to drive locally and having more than enough range with your 200 and 300 miles on your way to work, on your way to the kids' soccer game or whatever. That's what some say. But what I say is, I love to go to the gas stations. I love the gas stations. The gas station is a pleasant experience for me. It's great. They have Cheddar TV. Have you ever heard of Cheddar TV? It's this loud TV that starts playing whenever you have gas. If you don't live in Texas, maybe you're not as lucky as me. Maybe you don't have Cheddar TV. The smell at the gas station, great smell. Great smell, that smell of gasoline. The receipts, they definitely always print. You have that consistency of the service. It's definitely clean and safe. And I'm not a woman, unfortunately, but bonus if you're a woman, you're going to have strangers that feel compelled to ask you for your number. And they also sell alcohol late at night near where people drive and come in and drive. Right? So gas stations, they're a wonderful experience. We're not going to question our assumptions, right? We're not going to second guess everything. We're not going to think from scratch. We're all going to keep going and thinking that a gas station is a wonderful experience. Like I said, I think going to the gas station is going to remain an everyday thing or an every other day thing that is going to be cherished for the decades to come. People will cherish and keep cherishing going to the gas station. But that's not it, guys. There's a few other things, a few other reasons why I believe gas is better, and I think GM is right to keep invested $800 million in V8s. Gas is more expensive. And what do we know about things that are more expensive? It's a status symbol. Driving an expensive car is a status symbol, right? Driving a gas car going to be a status symbol, just like riding a horse is a status symbol today? Well, I believe so. I mean, that's totally possible. It's $70 for your tank of gas versus $7 at home. So clearly you're showing off by driving a gas car. It costs more money. Gas cars have more maintenance. It's well known that they have way more maintenance, many moving parts, right? You have to change transmissions sometimes. It's like thousands and thousands of dollars. Anyways, I think it's a status symbol to have an expensive car. You're showing that, and gas cars too, they're safer. I told you at the beginning of the video, I heard that there was a Tesla that caught a fire a few years ago. I don't recall fire issues with gas cars, right? I don't recall that. I mean, gas is explosive, but I don't remember that. Not sure I've seen any issues like that in movies. I don't think it's an action movie classic or anything. And gas cars, they're safer because they definitely don't accelerate as fast or tow as much. And so obviously nobody likes somebody who takes their time on a ramp. Like you go on the ramp on the highway, you take your good old time. That's safe. And also, they don't have FSD yet, right? FSD is very unsafe, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. FSD is so unsafe, and one of the beautiful thing about a gas car is that they're nowhere near having FSD or any drive assist. So, and lastly, guys, let me say, lastly, the dealership. It's a beloved experience. I love the dealership. You know, markups, they don't really bother me. Like, you gotta work hard to get those cars. I don't mind that there's markups, sometimes 15, 20 grand over MSRP. Markups are not really a problem. I mean, we all know that MSRP that's advertised on TV is not what you get. I also like haggling. I think haggling is very, very fun. I really like particularly the whole talk to the manager part of haggling, where you sit down and then you have the salesperson leave the room and they go talk to their manager. I really like that part. It's totally not overdone, totally not, I mean, it's really nice. And you know, it's not like information is freely available this day. Like, no, there's no free information. There's no, where do you find a review? Where do you find a review about a car? I don't know. Right, I need advice. I need advice from a salesman. I need advice. And also, guys, this is the problem when you don't go to a dealership. When you don't go to a dealership, it may take multiple weeks for you to decide on the car you want, because you want to weigh the pros and cons, because you want to be careful about spending $40,000 for something that you're gonna drive for, say, 5 to 10 years. Right? It takes weeks. Time is valuable, right? I'm grateful for the pressure that the dealership provides. Dealership helps me decide real quick. I can decide real quick with a dealership, guys. It's nice. It's very nice. And let me move on. There's more. There's more. But, you know, I'll just conclude briefly. This is just a few reasons why I'm going all in on GM. You know, that's just me. There's never any advice on this channel. I'm just talking about my experience. I'm thinking about GM. I think GM is a good company. You do you. But I'll finish with some bonuses about GM stock that I think you're not going to believe. So GM, with all of the perks that I told you, they also pay a very, very nice and safe 1% dividend. It's safe because they halved it by 80% recently. So that's why it's safe. 1% dividend. And I really hope the dividend grows. You know, I also happen to be a very big dividend investor. I love dividends. It's so great. You pay taxes today. You don't defer it, right? You don't compound tax free when you get a dividend. You pay taxes today, and that is good. You definitely wanna compound with taxes. Anyways, I love that. Paying a dividend is important to me because it shows that you're a winning market leader. And you know, I also like that they have debt. As you know, I'm a fan of GAAP accounting. And I'm a fan of how debt is represented in balance sheet, thanks to GAAP accounting. And you know, when you have debt, it's good because it provides you some leverage, right? You can show better return on equity numbers because you have all of that debt, right? It shows you net leverage. And GM has about twice their, what is it? Almost 2.5 times their market cap in debt. And so you may say, I know what you're gonna say. Oh, it's risky. Oh, they have debt. It's risky, right? I mean, it's not like this business is going to run into some sort of a trouble. It's not like there is an S-curve happening to that industry that's disrupting it, right? It's not like that. I mean, and when I look at GM, when I look at the balance sheet, they have, if you look at the balance sheet between current and long-term assets, they have $74 billion of finance division loans and leases that are held as assets on the balance sheet. And again, personally, right, this is just an entertainment video, but I'm personally very confident that most of the cars on that balance sheet will not be returned after those leases end. Right? You don't want realized losses. You don't want these losses to realize. No, I'm fairly confident everybody who got a lease on a GM is going to buy that lease. That's what I'm confident, right? We're not going to see that electric cars are much cheaper. We're not going to see the $7 for a tank of electricity. We're not going to see that. I'm also confident that the value of those car titles that are held as asset on the balance sheet against the loans, against that debt, I'm confident that the value of those car titles is not going to drop too much. Fairly confident about that, right? And I'm also pretty sure that there won't be any economic crisis leading people to get their car repossessed, right? People prioritize their cars. They may skip a mortgage payment or two, but they will definitely prioritize that big truck or you know that expensive car. They'll prioritize that GMC Yukon or something like that. They will. I'm pretty sure, right? right? So this is it, guys. This is why I'm going all in on GM, and I am getting rid of all of the hyper growth stocks, all of the innovation stocks, all of the S curves, everything I cover on the channel. I'm changing. Today is the day, April 1st. It's the day that I'm changing. Whew. All right. Now I'm getting out of character. Hello, everybody. It was so hard to say guys the whole time. I tried to go like a YouTuber, like a regular YouTuber. And by the way, I know there's 8 women that follow the channel. I am sorry for that. I keep repeating 8 guys because we actually have 1% of women following the channel. So sorry about that. Happy April Fool's Day. Ever since I've been a YouTuber, I've been thinking about doing an April Fool's video because my favorite YouTube channels do them. So I hope. I'm sure you saw it was April Fool's, but it was all a joke. I'm obviously not touching GM stock. I'm not going anywhere near. I am keeping my Tesla, obviously, at least for the next 10 years, at the very least. And I'll end this video by being serious, with a serious note, which is look, GM is not a bad company. Credit goes to them for moving electric. A lot of credit goes to them. They had to do very tough layoffs a few years ago. So a lot of credit goes to them to go electric. They had to shut down factories. I fundamentally believe that. I also wish well to all GM employees, shareholders, customers. I really do. I want them to succeed because GM is America. And anybody who owns an index fund in America owns GM, right? Since the S&P total stock market, I want them to succeed. GM is a storied company. They have a great history. If you look at the early days with Buick and all of that, they have a really good history. And I have much respect for these companies that have changed the world once. Transportation changed the world in the early days, and they definitely contributed greatly to American culture, to the American economy, especially to the economy of Michigan and the Midwest in general. Nothing but respect for GM. I also want to respect them because they were the first mover in the electric space. Let's not forget that, right? They had the EV1 in 1996, the GM EV1. And if we're being honest, the Volt in its day was a very forward-looking vehicle. The whole idea that you could have an engine charging a car. And the Bolt is actually pretty compelling. I mean, if you're looking for a small car, the Bolt is compelling. It's inexpensive. It's got enough range for city driving. It's a compelling car, and it looks decent. I mean, it looks pretty good actually. So they have one compelling vehicle, and I don't want to remove that from them. They're doing certain things right. So clearly, when I said investing $800 million in the V8, I don't think that's the right thing. My own opinion, clearly, but they're doing some things right? Their cruise system that they have in San Francisco and Phoenix, I believe, that's doing things right? That's moving towards mobility. They're hurting on their Lyft investment right now, but they looked pretty smart 2 years ago when Lyft went public and their 6% stake in Lyft. They're doing decent things with the Ultium cells and their whole Ultium platform and building a large factory, trying to overcome some of that structural inertia by building a factory from scratch, right? GM, I love the company. Chevrolet, storied American brand. I think it's a great company. I just think it's a company of the past, and I just think they're gonna have a very hard time. But I just think they're gonna have a very tough job ahead. And despite the story, I wish them luck. I wish they would triple and quadruple their speed towards the move to EV. Right? I mean, paying tens of millions of dollars for Super Bowl commercials and partnership with Netflix and announcing. At some point, you need to stop announcing, stop designing, stop thinking, and start building. And so I just think they have a very tough job of it. It doesn't change the fact that this is a company that has had a great history, and I hope they succeed. So anyways, this was not investment advice whatsoever, clearly entertainment, and I hope you noticed that at the first sentence that I say when I said, hey guys, because it's not me, I say hello everybody. Anyways, this is just entertainment. Appreciate your likes, appreciate your subscribes, and Happy April Fool's Day. Have a great day.